Hi guys, I'm Nikhil Chawla. Welcome to another episode of Talk Tech on the Unbiased blog. Today we're talking about a car that is not a generation change, just a facelift, but the car maker has tried everything under the book to make it look and feel as good as a generation change. Yes, we're talking about the brand new spanking A4 from the Audi. Now as you can see up front, the design has been changed quite a bit. The headlights are different, the grille is different, the bumpers are different. In fact, truth be told, the only thing remaining same in this car is the bonnet, the roof and the boot. That's about it. Everything under the hood, everything other than that, the design, even the interiors have been updated to give this car a fresh new look and feel and experience, because even the engines have been changed. So what we're waiting for? Let's start with the review of Audi A4 2021. So up front you can see how distinctive the new design is. The brand new grille is like flatter and has more fins. It looks really nice. The air intake has gone huge. The new DRLs are very distinctive, especially these grid structures on their DRL make it really new and something new on the Audi lineup. And you know, when it's in the night, it looks really nice. Even in the day, they're very eye-catching. So razor sharp DRLs over here, and that also turns into turn indicator. So right underneath is the headlight washer. Yes, it's included in this top trim. This is the technology trim that we're driving. And underneath you can see there was a place for fog lamps, but they're not included. Apart from what you see on the bumper, there are silver trims that make it really look nice and chunky. And right next to that is the air intake that, you know, helps with the airflow. So there is a cut here just for the airflow to pass through and make it more aerodynamic. So that's something great. Even in the top technology trim, you don't get a front camera, but you do have sensors for your assistive driving, and it really works perfectly. But you can see this lower lip, and that makes it really more chunky and attractive to look on. And again, as I said, that everything in the car has changed apart from the bonnet, roof and the boot. But these lines really from the bonnet goes up till here and looks very nice and give it a macho feeling, as you can see here. So let's move on to the side of the car and talk about what has changed on the side. So on the side you can see these lines running across the fender till the starting of the front door, and similarly it continues from the back to the rear door. So that's something that is giving it, again, the side profile a completely new look. And then you get the 17-inch 5-spoke alloy wheels on the technology trim. What it's interesting is to see that the doors have also changed in the car. So the earlier versions of Audi A4 had door handles that you had to pull. This one goes up like this. So it's really adding to that premiumness and distinctive feeling of the car. So, you know, up front it's different, on the sides it's different, and obviously the rear is also new. We'll move on to that. But I would like to point out the skirting on the side running across the car, and it looks really nice and sporty. So talking about the rear quarter panel of the car, you can see this lines running from the light towards the rear door, and it looks really nice. You can see that these two lines running across through the fuel tank lid and going through the door and just ending it right there. So you could see those lines running across, but this time it's only from the front fender to the front door and from the rear light till the rear door. So moving on to the back of the car, which is also new, let's talk about the rear design. So as you can see, just like the front, the rear has changed a lot, and you can see that because of these new tail lamps, and these LED tail lamps resemble what you saw on the front in the headlights. These grid-like LED structures that really add to the distinctive feel and razor-sharp lighting. Especially at night, they're a treat to look at. Underneath that, you can see the new engine I was talking about, the 40 TFSI engine. So now the Audi A4 will only be available in India in a petrol variant. So this is the 40 TFSI engine that you get, which we'll talk about later. So talking about the design of the bumper, you can see this chrome line running across the bumper that looks really nice. Especially this chrome lining on the exhaust, the twin exhaust, they are functional. These are not Fox exhaust, they are real exhaust, working exhaust, and they look really nice. Especially this chrome line running across makes it really nice to look at. So A4 being a sedan, we all expect good boot space and also some good features in the boot. Yes, we expect features out of the boot also. First, let's open and see how much space it has. So as you notice, I could open the boot with the press of a button from the remote. So this is an electrically powered boot and can be remotely opened. You can't shut it remotely though. So you have to manually come and close it, but then still convenience right there. So the A4 comes with a 460 liter of boot space, and you can see I can actually lie down inside. It's so much of space right there. Then some nifty things that I really liked about is that there are two convenient areas to store things at. There's a fuse box under it. There's a net there to make sure that your stuff is kept safe and you keep it there. There's also a hanger you know, to put stuff there. You can hang your veggies, your fruits and whatnot. So there's a hanger very conveniently placed for you, and to give it proper insulation, it has all been covered with material that I think absorbs sound. We'll talk about it in the drive quality, because this car can really absorb sound. So I can see this material running across the car, even in the boot. So on the boot door, you also see there is an emergency stand. If there is in need of emergency, you can place it on the road, which is good. To reach the spare, you just need to open this lid and pull it, and right there is the spare tire, which is a donut tire. But then underneath, if you see, there are wires going. Now these wires are for the auxiliary battery, because this is a mild hybrid car. Yes, so when you stop at a red light, the car stops automatically, but everything keeps running thanks to this auxiliary battery right there. So obviously it adds to the mileage of the car, which we'll talk about in the drive. So let's check what's under the hood, and we'll talk about the engine. As we've already mentioned, it comes in only one petrol option in India. Yeah, so hydraulic right there for you. So this is what is under the hood, the TFSI engine. Very refined now. It's a 2-liter engine, replacing the 1.5 liter that we had earlier on the Audi A4. This one even churns out more bhp. Earlier we had 150 bhp. This one is a 190 bhp engine with 320 newton meters of torque. So this engine is mated with a 7-speed Stronic gearbox from Audi, and it's a front wheel drive. Talking about that, let's get inside, talk about the interior and then the drive. But before I close the bonnet, I want to point out something really nice that I noticed, was where the wiper fluid intake bottle is. It's right in the fender, very cleverly placed by Audi, and it's right there hiding beneath that. So I was talking about how the sound isolates on this car and how it has been given the sound insulation treatment. And on the bonnet also, you can see this lot of treatment being done there, and that really makes it a plush and hush ride. So let's go inside and talk about the interior and the ride of the Audi A4. So we're finally inside the Audi A4, and it really feels plush, luxurious and state-of-the-art, especially thanks to the Virtual Cockpit Plus. That has been really carried forward to all the generations of Audi car. We saw it first in the Audi TT almost a decade ago, and we were like mind blown. And that has been carried out to the A4, and obviously it has made enhancements over the year, and we will talk about that in detail. But first things first, let's look at the design and elements of this car. And you can see up front the AC vent line running across the dashboard, and makes it really wide dashboard looking car, and looks really nice. This lacquer piano black finish across the dashboard and running across the center console, and this treatment of the leather on seats and the steering wheel adds to, you know, the premium plushness of the car. And again I'm going to say that standout feature is the plush and hush ride of this car. So up front now, the screen has been replaced. You can see the center console has changed. So now the Audi multimedia interface is a 10.1 inches high LCD TFT screen, which is really good to look at, really nice to touch at. Yes, you do miss the haptic feedback, but then again, no complaints. The rotary dials have gone. It's all touchscreen here. You can do some functions through scrolling from here. You can control the volume and songs from this button right here in the center console. But most of the features have to be accessed through the touchscreen. You have the passenger and driver AC controls. You have the rear passenger AC controls. So 3-zone climate control AC sorted for you guys. But I would like to point out again the attention to detail and intuitive features that Audi has brought into this car. Especially these buttons for the AC controls are touch sensitive. So as soon as you go near them, you keep your finger on them without even pressing. It senses your gesture and, you know, recommends the action it can do, which makes it really nice to look at and do. So just a press of a button and it suggests, you know, all the different features of the car. Then again, the AC dials have nice, you know, clicky feeling to it. Every time you turn it around, you get that clicky feeling, and the temperature is displayed inside the dials, which looks really nice. And these buttons are for your drive, the Audi Drive Select, you know, automatic engine cutoff for better mileage because of the hybrid capabilities of this car. You know, you can turn off traction control from here. You can use parking assist. You can use the parking assist cameras on this one with the press of a button. And for some reason, if you feel that this 10.1 inches screen is obstructing your view, you can simply switch off the display, but the songs or the media you're interacting with keeps on going. So you can turn the display off and still continue listening to your favorite music and control it through the dials on the center console or on the steering. When you open the glove box, which can be locked, has good amount of, you know, plush feel to it. The texture is really nice, as you expect from a luxury car. So that is there. Going back to the center console, what I really like that Audi thought of people who don't have a Type-C yet. So they have given you a USB Type-A charging. they've given you a Type-C charging. They've also given you wireless charging. And the best part about the wireless charging device over here is that if you keep it on charge and you're about to step out of the car, it gives you a visual warning on the screen, and it also is an audio warning telling you
your mobile phone is still in the vehicle,
that your phone is left on wireless charging. So there are cars that have wireless charging but do not remind you when you're stepping out and you might forget your phone. So that has been taken care of. Again, then there are cup holders, the start stop button right there, which is nice and well placed. You know, it's like at your arm's length when you're sitting, so just click off the button and you're done, you sorted. And right under the cup holder there is a section where you can keep a lot of things. You can keep your wallet, you can keep your AirPods, and that's really nice because there's a lot of space been given because now it's a touchscreen, the rotary dials are gone, so Audi has made space for you. One thing that I'll be nitpicking, I'll be saying that, but it doesn't have a cover. So, you know, I would like a lid over it that I can cover if I'm not using either of these features like the cup holders or this space, so I can just cover it with a lid. Right after that is the gear shift lever. There is reverse, neutral, parking, of course, and then drive and sports mode. You can also just tilt it to the left to transfer it to manual gear shift. Right after that is automatic stop button and the parking, and then the handbrake. Again, one nice thing is that Audi has made place where you can keep your key because all the doors are keyless. If the keys are in your pocket, you can open either all four just by touching them and it automatically locks and unlocks. So all are with a sensor. Right underneath the armrest, which can be adjusted according to your need, is the wireless charging plate where you can keep your phone as big as an iPhone 12 Pro Max and it fits in comfortably. Just below that is space for your AirPods or something like that because it's really well made, and I think I've placed my AirPods there. And next to that is the USB Type-C charging port I was talking about. So USB Type-C port sorted. There's a lot of space again a lighter port where you can put in your 12-watt charger or use it as a lighter. So the armrest is even height adjustable, and you can also obviously drag it if you need to drag it further up. So you do get a sunroof on the Audi A4, but it's not a panoramic roof. It's just the sunroof for the driver and the co-passenger. A small one, but still it's there. But one thing that you have to note that when you shut or open the sunroof, you have to manually control the curtains. It's not done with the car's automatic sunroof. You have to manually move the curtains up and down. That's something that you have to keep in mind. Talking about the sound of the car, it has got Audi sound, which is great sounding. Not as good as Bose or a Burmeister audio, but then again, no complaints there. It's really good sounding speaker system, and you know, it's bassful, it's punchy. Then again, it's not tuned by an audio making company. I also like to specially mention the rear view mirror. It's so sleek, so nice, and the way it's been done, it gives you a very sporty feeling. And you know, it's just really premium and nice to look at, and it obviously has all the sensors so that the headlights of a car that is driving behind you doesn't hit your eyes. So all that has been taken care of, but really nice and sleek and sporty. Just above that you get the lights, which are touch sensitive. Just click of a finger and it switches on. You also have a manual button to switch them on and off, but again, right there is the button to control the sunroof. One thing that I found missing was the sunglasses holder, which I'm very finicky about, and this car doesn't have it. So there is no sunglasses holder, but thankfully there's space right next to the USB Type A port where I could place my sunglasses. So again, some place has been made to keep them, but then there is no specific sunglasses holder that I had to point out. So now let's talk about the seating comfort of the car, because that's what's most important. If you're comfortable, then you'll definitely like the car. If you're not comfortable, then you'll be finicky about it. So yes, the seats are comfortable. The driver side seats are also memory seats. You have two memory options. You can set for two drivers, which is really nice. And the seating comfort is really nice in terms of, you know, thigh support and lumbar support, and they're electronically controlled. So there are a lot of adjustments that you can make to the seat. But I definitely miss that extendable thigh support that Mercedes gives you on the C-Class. So that is missing. You can't manually or any way extend the thigh support. But there are a lot of options to tune in the seat, which is all electronically controlled. And you know, there is also lumbar support option for there. Now talking about the steering, very sporty feel to the steering. Really nice chunky steering to hold to. And obviously, depending on your drive select, the Audi drive select, the steering weight changes and the engine performance changes, the transmission changes, but very nice to hold to. There are a lot of controls on the steering. The right side gets the audio control, the left side gets the virtual cockpit control. You can change multiple views, and the virtual cockpit plus obviously has so many things to do about, and there are different ways that you can display data. You can select from map in the middle to whatnot. You can also, you know, get the whole map on the screen, full screen map. That's a really visual delight to look at. You know, you get full screen map right up there. and you don't have to be distracted, look left or right there in the speedometer. The virtual cockpit is displaying maps for you, which is nice. You also get 3 speedometer options. You get dynamic, you get sports, and you get the normal one. So you also have paddle shifters right there on the steering for your when you want to be the boss and take control of the car. So you have those paddle shifters right up there. So steering is manually controlled. If you want to tilt it, and it's telescopic, so you can pull it towards you, you can pull it back, you can move it up and down, but then it's all manual. You don't get the option to electronically control it. Right next to it, the speed limiter and a cruise control where you can set it. There's also some space for the driver to keep coins and parking tickets or a lot of other things. There's the Audi booklet, or your registration documents are also placed in it, so you can just pull it and see the user manual. It's quite deep inside the dashboard, so you can put a booklet as big as this and still have space left. And right next to it is the headlight control, which can be always kept on auto, or you can control it and then press of a button, and then you get the manual control to control the brightness of the display of the car. So either you can go through the screen, or you can just push this. So the driver obviously get all the power window controls and the side view mirrors control. The side view mirrors have defoggers in it, which is really nice. You can control them and you can open and shut them right from here. The exterior mirrors are power adjustable, they have heating, they have folding, they also have auto dimming feature on both sides with memory function. You also get a contour ambient lighting package that gives you up to 30 colors options to choose from, though the ambient light is not very visible during the day, but at night you can see them. Even though you get 30 colors ambient light option, I would have loved it if Audi has spread it across the car or the dashboard at least, because right now you just get it in the door trims, that to half of the door and under the center console. So that's about it when it comes to ambient lighting. I would have loved it specifically if it ran across the dashboard near the AC vents, but that's something that is missing. You do get park assist with 8+ for your ease in the city, which is really nice because it helps you park the car. And as I mentioned, the power front seats with memory feature are included for the driver. So the Audi A4 comes with a new MMI system, which is connected experience for your Audi A4. And I tried the voice assistant, which is the Hey Audi feature on the car. It really is not that intuitive or something that I could really rate it with other cars, because I felt that a lot of features were not available for India yet. Like if I said, hey Audi, take me to this place, it would say that these locations cannot be used in India. So you cannot drive by saying vocal commands to drive to the location. You have to insert it by typing in. So these things are missing. If I asked, hey Audi, what's the weather today, or how's the weather today, it would give me no return. So a lot of features are missing in Hey Audi. I think it should be more India-centric, to be honest, and more intuitive to be in the first place. As you would expect in a luxury car, both sunshades get vanity mirrors and light, and it really is very well placed, to block sunlight, and really worked for both the driver and the co-passenger. So that was about the dashboard and the seating comfort on the front seats. Now let's sit at the back and see how are the comfort in the rear seat. So inside the Audi A4, the rear seat, it's comfortable. It's, again, I'll continue saying, it's plush and feels nice. Especially this armrest is wide enough for 2 people to sit and enjoy their drinks thanks to these cup holders, which are very well placed, very well designed so that it stays in place. So very comfortable, and there's also space for you to keep stuff like your smartphone, anything right in the middle. You can even keep a tablet. It's a good huge size, so you can keep it right there. There is soft lining there so that it doesn't get scratched, all taken care of. And if you want 3 people to sit, well, it's going to be a challenge because of the central tunnel. The transmission tunnel is huge, so if you want to make 3 people sit, it has to be like this. Then again, you have all the luxury plush features. You get curtains where you can just pull them up and hang them. You get hangers right here to keep stuff, hang stuff. There's a lot of space when you talk about the leg room and the headroom. There's quite a good amount of space that you get, and even the footroom is a lot of footroom right underneath the seat. So it's not like getting stuck in some electricals. You can move your foot right up there and still a lot of space left. Then again, I mentioned it's a 3-zone climate control AC, so the rear passengers get their own AC controls. You can obviously shut the vents, and even switch off the AC if you don't need it. No charging ports at the back, but you get a 12-volt adapter where you can put in your charger and start using devices or charging devices. On the rear door, you also get speakers, and this lacquer finish continues at the back. Also the piano black and silver and mix of this leather. Then again, the seats of the driver and the co-passengers have been scooped in so that you get a lot of knee room also. So overall, I think it's really comfortable seat. There are 3 headrests, which is really something I think was very hopeful of Audi to feel that 3 people will be comfortably sitting in here. But then again, there are headrests for all 3 people if there are 3 people sitting, and these are adjustable headrests where you can really move it up and down, and they're comfortable. I think it's a car that you can drive and also be chauffeur driven. That's what I feel, because it is really nice to sit at the back also, and there are no complaints here too. So at the back you also get these reading lamps for the people who are sitting at the back. Again, I'm very comfortable at the back. This is a comfortable car for me, and whether I was in the driver's seat, the co-passenger seat, or at the rear seat, I would say I would be loving to be driving it around, and I also would not mind being chauffeur driven. But that's all about the rear seat comfort of the car. Now let's go ahead and drive the car and tell you actually how's to drive with this car, and then talk about the final verdict. I seriously have to check my ears because this car is so hush, so comfy. Plush and hush is the title of this review for sure, because I really had to check my ears to check if the car is actually running, is the engine running. It's so refined, it's so nice to drive, it's so comfortable. The linear acceleration is really nice to drive to, and it really feels like you're sitting in a capsule. It's well encapsulated, and you also feel that you are wearing noise cancellation headphones all the time. The good thing is you do hear honks and you do hear the noises you should hear, but the cabin insulation is something that Audi engineers have done a fab job, and this is after driving a lot of other cars in this segment. I can say that one of the best sound insulation is on the Audi A4 that you find in this segment. So again, thumbs up to Audi engineers for doing that. Whatever they've done, it's magical. Talking about the drive quality of the car, I think it's again, as it's so comfortable and plush, you don't feel the bumps. It just passes through it. It's as if like you're sitting on a magic carpet. And a car of this price, of this segment, an experience above a budget that this car commands, it's like air suspension or whatever magic they've done with the suspension. It's really nice to drive on and feel comfortable about. I can literally drive this car in traffic, anywhere. It just doesn't feel. And I've been driving this car for almost 2 days now, and I've driven a lot of this on the highway and on bumper to bumper traffic, and it's just so comfortable and nice to drive to that you don't feel that cringe. You don't feel that people are annoying or people are honking at you. You're just driving past through them and enjoying the traffic and enjoying everything around you. So overall, it's just a happy-go-lucky car. You just start feeling nice and comfortable as soon as you sit in it and start driving it. And that's really nice, something that you want that in India, considering that we have so much of stress while driving. This just takes it all away, which is very nice. Yes, of course, it's a front wheel drive, so that adrenaline rushing or the quattro experience is missing, and definitely something that I would not call it a really sporty car, but then again, there's no sense of lack of excitement in it. If you just put in the sports mode, I've just shifted from drive to sport. The gear shifting is really quicker, and obviously you can select the Audi drive, select to dynamic, which I'm really driving in right now. So you can choose between economy or comfort or dynamic. And when you're in dynamic, you can feel the transmission changing, you can feel the engine response changing, you can feel the steering changing, and that's what really makes it a great car to drive on. When you shift to S, gear shifting is nice, and if you still feel there's a lag, you can just put in manual gear shifting and just shift it. The car would also tell you, guide you in a way with an arrow that you should downshift or upshift. So that's there, even if you want to take it to the manual and still be the boss. So you can obviously redline it, shift it, redline it, shift it. So nice to drive in manual. So if you ever feel that the transmission is not acting the way you want it to, well, be the boss, do it yourself. That said, yes, I would have loved the sports or even the drive mode to be a bit more responsive in terms of transmission. Specifically in downshifting, you feel that it either shifts too many gears or it takes too much time to shift. I prefer this driving more in manual, which should not be the case in a luxury car, in a car that is of this value, around 50 lakh rupees. So that should be something that should have been taken care of. But then again, I would not complain I would have liked it better. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna put back to the S mode, drive in S4 right now, and I'm gonna accelerate. It's very responsive. The cross the 100 line, S4, 135, S4. So again, that's what I'm trying to say, that practically noiseless car, just on the lines of an electric car. So much of refinement, so much of sound isolation in this car. Just love it. Absolutely love it. And in terms of safety, get all the features that you would expect from a luxury car like an Audi A4. It has got 8 airbags. It has got traction control system, though the traction control system is a bit overpowering in the car when you're cornering. It does tend to control the car very frequently, but that's a good thing, you know. It's good to have an overpowering traction control system because people sometimes just get carried away. So it's good that it just jumps in and tries to take control and, you know, stabilizes the car. That's not a bad deal actually. 7.5 seconds 0 to 100. Again, not really on the sportier side in terms of the competition, but then again, it's a mix of everything, to be honest. Comfort, it's luxury, it's efficiency, it's sportiness, and overall it's a great package, you know. It's something that really stands out on its own. It's not like being pushed by its German rivals or the competition. It just stands out for itself when it comes to design, when it comes to, you know, the drivability, the comfort. Comfort is something that you really all need, right? So in terms of fuel mileage, I would roughly get, because I'm really testing it hard and I'm testing it really on all the time on the sports mode, I would get around 6 to 7 km per liter. It's got a 53 liter of tank, and the advised fuel is obviously around 95 as per the engines of these cars, the refined engines that these cars come with. So in terms of cornering and body roll and the steering control, it does have a bit of a body roll when you're like tight cornering it, but the steering really stiffens it up and makes you feel you're in control, so you don't have to worry about, you know, a massive body roll. It's just a tiny bit of body roll, which should not be any worry to you, and that's also at really high speed, so that should not be a problem. Well, talking about speed, the company claims that it can go up to 241 km per hour. There is no speed limiter in here. So it's the same engine, 2-liter engine with 7-speed DSG paddle shifters, which really makes it a nice car to drive on, and obviously a very trusted engine, very refined engine. Absolutely no engine noise in the cabin. But I've noticed when you put it in sports mode, it's automatically disabled. There is a button on the center console to switch on the auto stop function, but if you want to do it manually, you can override it. Even when the engine is running and you park it on park mode and you're standing next to the car, you hardly hear any engine noise, which is again talks about the refinement of this V6 engine that Audi has done. To pass this review in 2 words, I would give the judgment of this car is hush and plush. So if you're in for a hush and plush experience, the Audi A4 is the car you're looking for. So go ahead, test drive the Audi A4. Audi has made it simpler for you guys because it's only one trim available, one engine option, no diesel in India, and few variants. So it's really easy for you to go ahead, test drive and make up your mind. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching the Unbiased vlog. We'll catch you in the next episode of Talk Tech. Bye bye.